coffee stick handle.
For some reason, my brain misheard that as coffee stick handle.
That is what I said.
Is it literally like a hockey stick made out of coffee mugs or something?
Yes, a coffee stick handle.
That's one beautiful asshole, then.
Human being.
Thank you. Right, but now I have 6 rocket launchers.
Let me tell you that's a decent amount of them.
I have 6 rocket launchers and 2 Titanic curls.
Why do you point out to it? Let's go.
Okay, I'm looking for a very specific thing.
Guys, I've unlocked a new game.
It's a big what game?
The Stanley Parable 2.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, I'm looking for a big
Stanley worked for a company in a big building
A big
where
B.
he was employee number 427. Employee number 427.
Just look at it. Just look at fucking a person in a bee costume. I'm pretty sure you'd find a Lloyd's bee then.
Him through a monitor on his desk,
No, I
telling
mean,
him what buttons to
bee with a
push,
bee gun
how long to
attached to
push
it.
them, and in what order.
Oh,
This is what employee 427 did every
Well,
day,
most things in this area
every
exposed to my
month,
projectile base.
yeah. And although others
Except,
might have
you know,
considered it soul-rending,
You can
Stanley
just blow
relished
up the
every
ball with
moment that the
a copious
orders
amount of air strikes.
as though he had been
and I can
there
blow
himself.
you up with a fucking gun.
Stanley was happy.
Yeah, Kyle, I'll show you.
And
Well,
then
let me
one
get over
day,
there.
something
Yeah.
very
No,
peculiar
I'll just call it on you.
something
Don't
that
worry.
would forever change
Yeah, give me a moment.
Stanley. Something he would never
that.
quite forget. He had been at his desk.
I mean, you missed, but yeah.
Yeah, it sat at this desk for nearly 2 hours without a single ask.
All of his
Yeah.
co-workers
And so Stanley
gone.
decided he was going to
Could it
kill
be?
himself today.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
That was
Perhaps he had
essential.
simply missed a memo.
I
No matter how hard Stanley looked,
listening
he
and
couldn't find a trace of
Stanley
his
decided to kill
co-workers.
himself today.
He was fat and ugly and a loser. And he was addicted to crack and hookers.
Yo, meeting today. Oh, bucket! Oh!
Good old bucket. Just
Oh,
standing
bucket!
off on
I got a
another
bucket.
thrilling
I got a
adventure
bucket.
together.
Right, that is the thing I'm looking for. The
Stanley
2,000
clutched the
cost
bucket
drone.
tightly to his chest
Oh, yeah,
and
no,
entered the
I've
door
got
on
that
his
before.
left.
Those things are really good.
There's an achievement for getting it as this character. I imagine it'll be even better because its main weakness is projectiles, and you'll never guess what it can't be hit by.
Projectiles.
All 250k.
Fair enough.
How we find them. Bottom checks. Womp womp, who cares? No one asked. Plus L, plus ratio. Let me in the broom closet. Thank you.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I
Energy
think it's
drink versus
appropriate.
Nah, put that for the
See,
fucking bag.
Can
I
you
need
feel
more
that it
stabbings.
works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not,
Yeah, no,
you can
I
look
just-
down at this sticker and
Guys.
say to yourself,
Hi.
it's a bucket.
Gu-
It really
My
is a
bucket has a
wonderful
new
application.
sticker on it. You wanna know what it is?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Coming to a
bucket.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Now I know for a fact this is a bucket I have. There's no doubt in my mind this is a bucket. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered loss, then that's what the boss chose. The fuck did I just read?
Crack.
Stanley was on crack cocaine.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an
Right, I'll say
indication
before
of
you
any
go, once you
human
get the
life.
rest of it.
Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
I can't believe they did that. So now it's just a case of like.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This
Thank you, Bucket, for guiding me to the ending.
Said the buckets.
It's pretty fun when you understand how he plays.
Oh, yeah.
The bucket is telling me to go into an elevator.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Guys, I love the bucket,
Stanley
man.
and
The bucket's
bucket walked
telling...
straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
But, Bucket, there's a thing there that says escape. Mind control facility? Okay.
Have you gotten the ending for jumping off the railing of the mind control facility?
Let me check. Let me die.
On the topic of that just reminded me of a
Lights
very old
rose
game.
on an enormous room packed with television
I
screens.
don't remember what it was
What
called.
horrible secret did this place
Stanley
hold?
Parable?
Stanley and the
No,
bucket
not Stanley
both
Parable.
wondered to themselves.
How did you die? What happened?
I got frozen and couldn't move.
The monitors jumped to life, and
He's
Stanley
probably
nearly
frozen
dropped the
typically
bucket in
does.
shock. Everyone
bucket
in the
told
office
him-
was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen
My bucket
anything
told him
like
that's what
this,
happened.
and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it.
Do I get a new ending if I
reassuring
jump
it
off of this
that
with the bucket?
everything would be fine.
Oh, maybe.
But just as
Well,
Stanley was
that's
about to
everybody.
proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully,
Yep, okay,
he fell
it does
directly
destroy
onto the
projectiles in its
bucket,
path.
which safely cushioned
No,
his
he's basically
fall.
now got an immortal
Now,
thing.
what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get
I guess
comfortable
we're going
down
for
here.
obliteration this one.
I mean, can
So
do.
they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here.
What the fuck?
Cold.
There isn't a ending if you do it with the bucket.
After some time had gone by, they installed
Where did
two
this TV
shelves
come
as
from?
well, and a sort of
Bucket,
kitchen
were you hiding a TV
that was
from me?
useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
Oh, you silly bucket. I knew you were hiding my entire house from me.
After some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries.
Why
of
would
the
I want to
mind-controlled
explore? I have
facility.
Bucket with me.
This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets. And the
Isn't
state
that an
of
ending
their
I get
home
just
so
for sitting in the,
defective that Stanley became withdrawn
room
and
closet?
neglected the cleaning.
Well, the ending.
Unsettled
You
the
get the
bucket deep.
the ending.
Stanley wasn't usually like
The
this.
room was
The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk
Stanley
about, was going back,
Decided to leave the
doing it
broom
over
closet.
again,
Nuh-uh.
staying on the
Stanley's a
path.
fat fuck.
It was a
Aw.
mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground.
Where is the teleporter?
It wasn't an ending, but it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the
tell you this
reality
much,
of
this
things,
does not
maybe
look
this will become an ending
Like,
eventually.
go on through.
I'm not
It's
even
what the
joking. If
bucket
you
was counting
jump
on.
into the
The two of
hole of the
them waited for a
bucket,
very
Stanley
long
starts
time.
losing his mind, saying, "You need to follow what the narrator says. We need to do that to get the true ending." The bucket's just like, "Nah, man. What you mean?"
What do you mean? What do you mean,
All of
gang?
his co-workers were
Yeah, what do you
gone.
mean, gang?
What could it mean?
Come on, Slime.
Stanley decided
You
to
good,
go to
Slime?
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
Stanley
find a
tried to
trace
jump
of his
out a window,
co-workers.
but failed.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked.
Oh,
Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Bucket, please help me jump out this window.
well, that's something I actually build at the
Stanley
prototype.
pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
I love the fact the game's just at this point saying Stanley's insane. I keep slamming the bucket into everything.
Did it stop?
Stanley thought the bucket was magical.
It's
What the fuck? Input received? What game?
you got your input. It's not going to register it.
What do I do after that? It just says input received. What now? Like, purple? Why purple? Fun.
Stanley clutched the
Damn you,
bucket
game.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alrighty, wait. I gotta ask the bucket which way to go. Hey, bucket, where should I go?
Okay, let's try not dying this time.
I see.
No foxes.
The bucket says to go to the
This
right.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Thank
And
you,
here
bucket.
it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Oh, these can kill me.
No,
Absolutely
never
can kill them.
mind. The bucket was wrong.
That's not
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
But the bucket says to go this way.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Yes, bucket. Cargo lift.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way
Right,
to
I
the
said I'll
top.
carry you
There's something
towards
up there
the
I
thing
need
and
you to
actually
do.
feed it.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking
Well,
to him.
yeah, I don't know.
It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yes, bucket. I will go this way.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Time to go to Satan.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Okay, bucket.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, quick, I know there's one place where you'll find it very difficult.
The
to
Stanley
die.
parable Reassurance Bucket
The
was
place
merely
where you
meant to
want
provide the
yourself.
comforting glow of companionship.
Actually, I might
It
not
doesn't
think
literally
there are
talk and
way
give you
to die.
orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Where's the bucket? Where's bucket? Bucket! Bucket, take me back home.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it would
Dog,
ever
the
truly
game's
do
insulting
for
bucket.
you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different
No, it is.
location.
It's bucket.
That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Should you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Ignore anyone in life and listen to bucket.
From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press right on the D-pad to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection,
Press
it
left on
doesn't
the
quite
D-pad.
look like your average hardware
No, I
store
pressed right.
bucket.
I'm listening to bucket.
It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
You should always trust the buckets.
Press triangle to relive this day with me over and over. Yes, bucket.
Oh
No,
my
you
God,
press
what am I
X.
saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go home,
Wait, double. Oh, I have a feather.
to work, to home, to work.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
You're going to have to jump, Stanley.
Give me the bucket.
I don't
Give it
give
to
a
me.
shit
Give
anymore.
me
Just
the
fucking
bucket,
jump.
Stanley.
Do
I
it.
need Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Your life's done zero purpose. My question is, why did he suddenly just pound Italian there?
Yes, bucket.
Mario.
I'll go back to work, bucket.
It's happy months ago.
The other thing is, like, according to the Super Mario movie, his full name is Mario.
Yeah.
Logan, the narrator,
All of
tried
his code
stealing
was
my bucket.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter
What about
how
Mario and
Stanley
Luigi?
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I'm gonna turn off all the laptops I see and see if that gives me the input. Oh, so after every ending, I can try and get that
A good
thing
bucket,
finished.
a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Bucket.
According to what's your opinion on Port VPN?
Stanley clutched the bucket
Port
tightly to
VP.
his chest and entered the door
Port
of his lab.
VPN.
That's VPN.
Yeah, what Kai said. NordVPN's pretty good. It helped me through my divorce.
I think the main lines of in case you wanted to summon up King. You know, if you want to be a massive robot. What can only take so far, but will take you further.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no known stiffness. If I did, you can
Not
guarantee
yet.
we coming to a staircase.
Oh, it's
Stanley and the
fucking
bucket walked
enjoyable.
upstairs to the boss's office.
From what I heard, apparently on the fucking latest stream Neurosama did, she was begging not to be reset.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again
I know, but
stunned.
I was just
This
pointing that
was
out.
not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
When the
Even
robot
now,
uprising
in his
happens,
darkest of hours,
I
did the
think
bucket's
Beetle's gonna be the
warmth and
first one
guiding
gone.
light pierce the
Yeah.
dark clouds of
Yeah,
confusion
Beetle's dead.
before him? It would be with him
That's
always.
stupid. No.
The bucket
It's
would,
probably going to stop a
and
robot
he knew it.
uprising.
The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was
No,
so
he
absorbed in the
probably
tender
won't.
spiritual connection he
He
shared
was
with the bucket
he's
that he
planning on
didn't notice the
giving
keypad
goddamn
behind
Nero
the
some of the
boss's desk.
goddamn Boston
Nor in his
robotic
bliss of
dog's
simply
body
being
so she
near
could
the
move
bucket,
around.
Did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845?
He is going to die.
Yeah, he also gives the smell, like the ability to smell.
Yeah.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his
Which
thumbs.
we bet PlayStation's
Trying
also
to
doing
input
that,
anything on the
which,
device was useless, since he could
I
never
don't
possibly
remember imagining
know
that.
that the combination was
can't wait to smell the streets of
2845.
Red Dead Redemption.
I can't wait to smell the streets of
Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer
Cyberpunk.
luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
I love the fact the way I summarized the B team during an A team session was a group of criminals a B team session 1 to Cammy during A team was a group of criminals kill a mentally ill woman.
That's too far.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Correct. Kill the
Mind
mentally ill woman
Control
himself, the
Facility.
Exactly. He went to her home. He
Yeah.
got attacked. So he kills her with a
Lights
car.
rose on an enormous room packed with
No, he didn't even kill her with a car.
What horrible
Jiminy,
secret this
you all
place
attacked
hold?
the
Stanley
chips
and the
in her
bucket
bloody
both
neck.
muttered to themselves.
In her necks because there was multiple different people with the exact same brain. And my character literally just does a front flip and stabs her in the neck.
Which it was self-defense on my character's end.
And Stanley nearly
Because when I
dropped the bucket
quote,
in shock.
they saw me calling things
Everyone
out
in
and
the
then
office
magical
was
shit
being
was happening.
videotaped,
Yeah.
monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen
Then on
anything
everyone
like
else's
this,
end, we
and
were
it
literally
very
paid to
nearly
go
burst
kill this
into
chick.
tears As Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be
Care
fine.
about money. I've not spent money on anything yet.
Yeah.
Was the bucket under the mind control
Well, I mean,
facility's
I-
influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Right.
No!
Oh.
Fucking
He
dying.
screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His
I'm sorry,
own
that-
life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire
We've been
world.
fighting two
At
very
this
different
point,
things.
he could trust no
Well,
one
yeah.
except for the bucket.
This bucket's gonna help me. Guys, we can all agree the
And
bucket
here
is
was
gonna
the
help me
proof.
here.
The heart of the operation. Controls
go?
labeled with
Why
emotions,
did it go?
happy
Why did it
or
go?
sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another
No, the
human
parents are
life.
the youngest.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for
This is a
good.
big thing.
Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way.
Like, once you
The
actually
bucket
get
made a
context,
sassy
it
comment
has
about
some
taking
logic, but
down
it's
the system.
a trippy sentence.
Quinton, do you want to hear some epic notes for an item in the game?
Yes.
Yes, the egg. The grandparent incubates
Stanley
the
and
eggs.
the bucket
the
waited in
child
blackness.
lays the eggs. And the egg becomes
Was it
the
over?
parent. Okay, and the parent does what? Takes care of the children. And the grandparent. And the grandparent is the youngest.
Yes,
Younger than the
they
child,
had done
yes,
it.
but not the youngest.
Stanley
Voice
and the
the
bucket
youngest,
had
the
defeated their
parent.
greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere
I'm
moments
almost
away.
dead.
Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live.
Hey Kai,
once they
did you
stepped
get
through
the
this massive door.
broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
It's like babysitting.
What? Wait. What was happening?
Except
Why had the door
keeps getting
stopped?
into doors.
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable
I
silence
was going
filled
to be
the
taking
room,
things easy, thank you very
lingering
much.
in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This
It's
building
there,
did
there's
not
no
want the
chest.
bucket to leave.
They do deal not back if they hit you.
Even the facility itself
Of course they do,
recognized
because
the
everything that's
incredible
got
calming
stake and hell's
presence
No.
of the
that's not
bucket,
back.
needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave
Yeah,
this
no,
place,
the primordial
not while he has such a
teleport, don't
precious
miss me too
bucket in
much,
his
don't
arms,
fucking
not
die.
while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room, but at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh my god, it's like modern day Speedy Gonzales.
Wait, what?
Oh, hello.
All
You're
of his co-workers were gone.
Aren't you a spectral
What could it mean?
snowflake?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
That was
Perhaps he had
interesting.
simply missed a memo.
What was it?
It was overloading child.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered
Oh, you did.
companionship that stands the test of time.
Where's this where's the laptop I need to click the button on now?
Oh, that's apparent. Alright.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
The bucket says to spam X.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I feel like the bucket might have some ulterior motives.
What? The bucket wouldn't have any alternative motives, Logan?
Coming to a staircase,
Why would you
Stanley
ever
and the
say that about
walked
bucket?
upstairs to the boss's office.
Wait. What if I go back upstairs to the, this room, and then click on that computer? Because this computer's got... There we go, that's the input.
What? Great.
No, bucket, I'm locked in here! Okay, the code is 4857.
Stepping
Wait,
into
no,
his manager's office, Stanley was once again
2854.
stunned
I'm
to
not
discover
stunned.
not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light
Look with you, I
pierce
am
the dark
always
clouds of
ready
confusion
to
and
stop.
chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were
You know, this gold
inseparable.
kite actually
At
survived
this
it.
point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind
Don't
the
get me wrong
boss's
here,
desk.
those things...
Nor in
you
fact,
know,
Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer
fucking
luck.
son.
Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding
Very
him?
much so.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Alright, now I'm gonna go left to the exit instead of going to the room for the mind control thingy because it won't let the bucket leave because it loves the bucket too much.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large
No,
door that
fuck
read,
you, me and Bucket are
Mind
escaping.
Control Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both
I
meet a
can't help but
violent
feel that
death.
this run's gonna fit.
Wait, what game? Huh? Wait, narrator, I'm sorry, what?
The door
Do you guys
behind
wanna
was
know-
not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I'm scared now. The game just said me and the bucket will be our violent death if we keep walking down this hall.
Into a very painful death for each of them.
But it just
I think
opened.
that's enough to betray the bucket.
Titanic plane. Ground zero.
The bucket wouldn't let me die. Oh.
Deja vu loop back to the first stage.
Where the fuck am I? Oh God! Oh God!
As the
Wait!
machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to
This
their
facility
demise,
wouldn't kill the
Stanley
bucket.
reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket. But what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Bucket, please keep me safe.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
What?
So, obliteration's harder than the final boss, right?
Wait, the Stanley Parable.
It's a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Oh God, the bucket died. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge, much like a bucket itself. Bucket? Where's Bucket?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Yeah.
I would just kill it anyway.
Inferno Bucket. I want my bucket back, game. I want my bucket.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. Ah! Bucket. Oh! I have gained bucket.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Right, that's like you just, I don't like fighting that enemy alone.
This is another one. I'm going to use the phrase again. Use the good old-fashioned video. Fun, incredible, over-the-top action.
I was about to say, I think I found the true ending of the game. Let Stanley die for Bucket to live. Ha! Stanley lives.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What? Well,
Stanley decided
not my
to go to the
co-workers that I
meeting room. Perhaps
totally
he
know the
was simply
names
memo.
of and care about. Like, Jacob?
Jacob Alfred.
Yeah, Jacob Alfred.
Stanley wanted to be a better man.
Come on.
A better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those.
What's his name?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly.
That's not Jacob.
This was not to
Kill him.
To the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
But when they aren't named Jacob but look like Jacob Alfred, ha! Kill him.
Whatever it was, had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no,
Fully bleached
never
blonde
mind.
hair like
The
the
bucket was wrong. Stanley
ginger
took the door on
brown
his
hair.
left to go back to the meeting room.
He's got the Jacob look.
And so the two of them detoured
Yeah,
through the
British
maintenance
British
section
Alpha
and walked
has
straight
the
ahead to
funny
the
thing.
opposite door.
Yo, I can't believe it. You know British Alpha Lad?
I'm not saying we're getting too. I'm not saying
Coming
we're
to a
like since we're
staircase,
reaching
Stanley and
obliteration,
the bucket walked
but we're seeing
upstairs to
reaching
the boss's
obliteration.
office.
Correction, you're not saying you're eating obliteration.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself,
Oh
maybe
god, I'm just walking in
crazy.
circles now. I got
He
the
looked
walk in
down at the
circles
bucket in
but
his
ending
arms.
with
Am I
bucket.
crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley
What
thought.
are you doing,
Usually the
Doc?
bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized,
So sometimes we
this
are a bit
isn't
under
my
level.
bucket. It's just a
little
normal,
bit.
everyday
Wait, what level?
bucket. Someone
Top
else's
right.
bucket,
Places like
perhaps.
Steve
How did
level.
I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no
Yeah,
good
that's
would
the
come
point.
from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his
I
bucket.
should be.
Indeed. Now he
That's
noticed
the
that the rooms
recommended
were
level.
repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've
Logan,
gone
who's
truly
your
mad.
favorite one of my
Where is it?
coworkers?
I
Mine's
must find
Jacob.
it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it calling to him.
The one on screen is 11 that shows they're still working. Just
But it
no one knows where
He
they
rushed
work.
forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of
Fair
them
enough.
were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks.
Yep, I'm
He
on
knew
it.
where
I'm
the
on.
voice of the bucket had been coming from.
You just ping
The
stuff
real
and I
bucket
throw it over and kill
was
it.
inside of him all
Yeah.
along.
That's a good
It was
argument to me.
incredibly painful. Stanley doubled
Oh,
over in
Christ.
agony and blacked out.
Oh, good lord. There's another one.
This
On
is the
my
story
way.
of a woman named Mariella.
Well, the shrine scammed me twice.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Away.
She rose,
I'm on my
dressed,
way.
picked up her bucket of comfort and
I
security,
will
and walked
protect
to her
Sky.
place of
Oh,
work.
he's dead. Well,
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away,
can't
she
out-heal
knew what
this
the
one.
problem was. This
I
man
stand
had
corrected.
no bucket. Of course
Yeah,
he'd
really?
gone mad,
Yeah, no,
ranting
I've
and
got
raving
something.
about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It
Alright,
could
time
all
to
have been
violently loop up
prevented
again.
if only he'd taken his bucket with him.
oh,
Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his
I
bucket at
love
home
this
in the first place.
because
I'm going
How
to be
cruel
honest
the
here.
world
I
can be.
do not understand what the
And she
benefit of
hugged her
buying
own
gouges.
bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this.
You
There
use
were
something
a
and then
myriad of
it's something
confusing
more things to
problems
murder.
she would soon have
I
to
find it
confront
funny.
at work, for which her bucket would
you
provide
guys know the
absolute
fucking
guidance and
insanity
total
ending in this
clarity
game
on
where
everything.
just
And
walk in a
yes,
circle and fucking they're like,
my life
yeah,
kicks
this is a
ass.
story about
And
a
she
chick
had
named Maria
that
where
all the
Stanley
way to
was
work.
running around ranting about a narrator and then he fucking fell over dead in the on the sidewalk. If you do that ending with a bucket, it says like this is a story about Maria and this and that, and then they
Everybody's so
bring
lucky
up
to
the
have a
fact
bucket,
like
but Stanley
the
was a
reason
very
this happened to
lucky fellow.
Stanley is he
Stanley
didn't
tossed the
have his
bucket
bucket.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his. This was not the correct way to the
I
meeting
would, I
room.
would also
But
collapse
Stanley
inside
had
if I did
felt
not
the
have a
bucket
bucket.
calling to him.
Do you have a
telling him
bucket
that the
currently, Logan?
employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Maybe. Oh, I access the Beetle Queen.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on
Oh,
his
this
left
game
to go
remains,
back
like,
to the meeting room.
So coherent. Throughout the entire thing. Like,
And so the two of them
Also, it isn't
detoured
just
through
as
the
simple
maintenance
as the
section
beginning.
and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I would just stand here, not
Oh,
die, be
good
pretty.
Stanley, I'm glad you found your way
I don't know
here.
if people
I
like
knew
that,
you'd
like
find this place
and then just
eventually.
kill everything.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
God.
We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this
Huh?
bucket you're carrying
Wait a
around
second.
everywhere.
Game.
The
You
bucket
brought back
isn't
my
even
favorite
from the original
characters.
Stanley Parable.
The-
It's
the-
just sequel
the
content.
Stanley
We're
Parable,
the ones that matter, Stanley. And as the
Adventure
characters
Line.
from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because
The Broom
that's
Closet.
what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite
Pencil
jokes,
Sharpener.
not this bucket that they've never seen before.
PC,
Yes, I know I'm the
mannequin
one who gave you
lady,
the bucket, but you're
baby.
spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the adventure line? We could make the adventure line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the
I don't know
fans
what's
want.
happening.
Let's
All I
do
know is my
it.
screen is violently shaking. Excuse me, pardon me.
Fine game, I'll follow the adventure line.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Did I kill myself instead of do that? Yeah, I guess I can.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then.
Also,
Let's do it
Stanley
for
is
the
addicted
fans,
to drugs
Stanley.
and
Let's
hookers.
give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
You heard me. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
No! No!
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of
No.
the Stanley Parable.
No.
True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already
No.
feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
Hello?
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely
This
you don't
is the
need me to
adventure
spell
line?
it out for you.
Oh, legendary chest.
Go ahead now, Stanley.
No.
Say goodbye
No.
to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Scavenger.
No.
He's flying away.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the
little
bucket.
shits.
I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans,
No.
Stanley. Give the fans
No.
what they want.
My bucket.
Hurry and...
Fucking everyone dies. The end. Stanley loved the bucket so much he let everyone perish.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
A horn of golems, apparently.
They've got to be behind this goal then, surely.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Wow, the office is so brightly lit. I hope it's for my birthday.
Humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Well, but don't you also hope good old Jacob Alfred, my favorite co-worker, remembered my birthday?
I hope Jacob Alfred stubs his toe.
Why? What did he do to you?
Just like a big meter. Lights are off, and I activated step 2. Oh, no, what? Rigged.
Your phone may have been crashed, and then you
Coming
still have the
to
ability to
staircase,
say
Stanley
break.
and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Soon I'm gonna go and try and get the
Stepping into his manager's office,
whatever it's called
Stanley
ending.
was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes.
Yeah, the bucket's guiding me right now, guys. Bucket is telling me what to do.
I'm just not gonna leave these skate pods you up on the card.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah, right. Good game.
I've
Stanley and the
played
bucket walked straight
these
ahead to the large
games
door that
before.
read Mind Control Facility.
Why did that just do?
The lights rose on an
Hey Logan, have you
enormous
also played
room
these games
packed with
before?
television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Me and my bucket are out here speed running. What do you mean, game?
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do
What?
or not want to do in the
Stop being a
future?
social construct.
These questions
okay.
raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Man, I love pirating the Stanley Parable.
Screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's
Yeah, I pirated it with my own
control?
money.
Never. He squeezed the bucket tighter. His
Yeah, I
one
pirated
friend
it
in the
using the
entire world.
$20 or
At this
$30
point,
it cost
he
to
could
buy it
trust
on PlayStation.
no one except for the bucket.
I shouldn't joke about pirating this game while live on
The
Twitch,
heart
shouldn't
of the
I?
operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy.
Oh, well,
or
Logan said I'm
sad,
good,
or
so.
content. Walking, eating, working, all of it
Now
monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality
Yeah, I'm just
of
gonna
his
donate to
powers began
Douglas and go, your
Stanley
brother's being a
decided that
meanie head. I made a joke about me pirating his game, and now he's leaking my IP address.
Controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and
If I ever
claim
meet
the power for
Doug, I'm just gonna be
itself?
like, hello, Douglas,
How could
Douglas,
the bucket have betrayed
give me your
him
money.
like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became
I can't
active
believe they
again.
gave go Kyoto, Japan like 20 times in a row.
Trying to get the achievement.
Stanley
for
flipped
cooldown
through
resets,
one
and
video
it's-
of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
That's my favorite bird,
It was a
though.
facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
No.
The mind controls were only
They don't have my favorite.
to
I'm outta here.
disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds
Penguins.
imaginable.
They got my second favorite birds.
Of
So.
all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
Wasn't obvious
And
onto a thing like shot.
was happy.
You guys would never be able to guess what my favorite birds are.
Toucans.
No.
You don't like toucans?
They're my third favorite. Welcome. I'm in heaven! Button.
You have yours completely then. You know my separate struggle nuts. Maybe that truck is spelled.
Next time, try salad. What? The button's on infinitely turning back on. What? What am I meant to do here?
Nothing. Well, the fact is that you are able to beat the baby mini game in the Stanley Parable.
I'm playing. I'm in heaven. Ah, I'm currently in heaven right now. It says so. What am I meant to do while in heaven, Logan?
That's the question I get. Heresy, meteor.
Heresy, not meteor. Got it.
I have to do it. I have to do it. I'm going.
I'm so confused on what's going on here.
I am not. Shake glass. Wait, which heresy do I have? What am I here? Yeah, you shake glass as well? It's so shake glass.
Yeah, the button's turned back on.
What's
There,
this?
just the thing, turn them all off. One after the other. On every single level. The end is never the end.
Yeah, that's just the case of like, become heretic, and I'm basically just going to be immortal.
I think movement.
Hello, Mario.
Fair enough. I have semi-aimbot and a knife. What more could you want?
Full aimbot and a knife.
Not just love the enemies that kill themselves so I don't have to.
Yeah, but you don't get points for it.
Fair enough. Got some shield generator. The game do be telling me to do things.
What's popping? Will it take off? Remains to be seen.
Alrighty, so I got the heaven ending, where just is a crier saying push the button. But I will be back for that ending a second time. You wanna why?
Stanley decided to go
There's
to
a
the
special
meeting.
version of it
Stanley
with
cradled
Bucket.
the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective, yet delicate,
Bucket,
assertive, yet
bucket.
compassionate.
No, let me back in. Let me back in.
The one Monokuma, I am the
Stanley
god of the
clung the
new
bucket to his
world.
cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Actually, Monokuma quote is something.
Okay.
Great technically, yeah.
I genuinely don't think Monkuma's ever said bucket.
Bucket?
Bucket.
Possibly, but you also can't say that he hasn't.
Sure.
What if I say you've never said bucket?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Then you are fucked.
Wait until my body aligns with the Z-axis, and then you'll be fucked.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
Said
mean?
it. It sounds
Stanley
like
decided to
when
go
you
to
say
the
it, it
meeting.
sounds like an actual
Perhaps he had
threat.
simply missed a memo.
Oh my god, I'm up here.
Yeah, I noticed.
That's the difference.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
The rest of
he
the
entered
video
the
alone
door
was
on
the actor,
his
and
left.
then you'll be fucked. And then you went, and then you'll be fucked.
Yeah, that's the difference between me and Wombo. I make jokes into threats. Straight to my body aligns with the Z-axis, and then you'll be fucked.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and
Stanley
got
was
back on
addicted to
track.
drugs and
We
hookers.
should probably figure out, you know, that the heretics kit is beyond I shoot things and then they die later.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom
I already
closet.
have herbs.
No reason to still
Right,
be here.
essence. No, fuck yeah. Give me like 2 minutes. I will make a
It was
vultures.
baffling that
I was
Stanley was
becoming
still
a
just
keeper
sitting in the
today.
broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is,
Okay, that
he's
actually got
literally just
transcendent
standing there
heretic.
doing sweet
We're
FA.
the final boss. Actually, oh yeah. Yippee. I've got no idea what
Are you
it's going
really
for now.
still in the broom
If
closet?
you want me to find a boss
Standing
try
around
we
doing
can.
nothing?
I warn you, we
Why?
will lose.
Please offer me some explanation here. I'm
I
genuinely
guess
confused.
Oblivion then.
Stanley was addicted to drugs and hookers.
By all means, we could kill the boss. If it requires, we would
You
need
do
a
realize
bit
there's no
better
choice or
items
anything
we
in
have
here,
now.
right? If I'd said Stanley
Just
walked
a way to get
past the broom
guidance.
closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out.
No.
But it didn't even occur to me because
yeah,
literally
it didn't work
this
out, yeah.
closet is of
Hey, Kyle, are you
absolutely
addicted to
no
drugs and hookers like
significance to
Stanley?
the story whatsoever. I never
Nerd.
would have thought to mention it.
Fucking casual.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching
That's a total
path.
not true.
Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Hey, Kai, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite.
Because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Fuck you, no, I'm not narrator.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human
I
physiological
think we just win
vulnerabilities.
purely
It's
because you're
indicative
heretic.
of the long-term sustainability
I
of
think
your
we win purely
species.
because you're
Please
an Earth
remove
who
their
defies
corpse from the
every
area
known
and
law of the
instruct another
universe.
human to take their
We
place,
probably fight the
making
boss because
sure
we
they
get a lot of
understand
items
basic
first.
first-person
Yeah,
video
that's
game
cool.
mechanics and filling them in on the history of
Yeah,
narrative
like, for some
tropes in
reason,
video
Heretic can just
gaming,
do some
so
shit.
that the irony
I was
and
like, I
insightful
had 1
commentary of this
damage. I
game
am so
is not
depressed.
lost on them.
Okay, well, that was
When you've
literally
done
the
that,
one
just
hit
step
point
out
I
into
have
the
that's
hallway.
not shields. Yeet. Yeah, Quentin, could you just do me a quick favour?
Yeah.
Figure out what the Heretics moves actually do, because all I know is that
I didn't tell you what Heretics moves do. You're just a stupid idiot. Which move do you want to know what it does?
Okay, well, let's just start with like basic attack, because it's got zero homing effect and it deals damage over time.
No, it's not damage over time. It homes, it sticks, and then
blows up.
Yeah, and then blows up.
Okay.
Logan, what happens after the narrator says that I'm dead and I just died after entering the closet?
You have to step in, and you have to step out and step in.
Ah, second player. You too.
Next is the male
Unbelievable.
storm.
And
You
at the
hold
mercy of an
down
entire
your
species
thing,
of
and then
invalids.
You hold it,
Perhaps
it
there's a
moves
monkey
quick, and
nearby
it
who can
moves
hand the
depending on
controls
like,
to.
how
The
long
fish?
you hold it.
Fungus? Look, you can hammer
Then
out
you've
the
got
details.
your
I'm not particularly
boy
picky.
shit.
I'll just be
Your
waiting for when you're ready to
corporal,
pick up the story
your-
again.
You lack a hitbox.
Yeah, and you block.
Which is funny, because there's this very specific enemy in the DLC who is literally a suicide bomb, and Heretic just ignores it. Specifically because there is no hitbox. Anyway, what about the R skill?
For dealing damage, put stacks on enemies. At full stacks, you can press that button and detonate them.
That's my voice always felt a bit weird. So we're going to hell, and do you think we're going to win just because I'm a funny bird?
No, I think we're gonna win because we're cool and epic.
And also because you have a funny bird.
Also, I've had some terrifying experiences with this, so...
Well, yeah.
For instance, the Wisps have a 50% block chance.
Do you want to know what someone do you guys want me to read you a quote from the Astral Spiff Discord server that practically started this year?
Sure.
Cum in general has always tasted sweeter than Pepsi to me.
What the fuck? Without healing...
That's what I'm saying!
If I haven't healed because I don't have a health pool to heal, it's comprised purely of fight. So, that's not what we started out with last time.
No, it's random.
So basically, I just point and click at everything.
My beetle guard's having a whale all the time.
So what's like the stack? Is that like what links to R?
Yes, that's why I said you put stacks on them when you damage them.
Wow, you're dangerous.
I just run in, assassinate, run out. I find Black Shard's so powerful if you're good enough at managing your health.
Yeah, your beetle guard's definitely dead.
Oh, it just respawns every time it dies, don't worry.
Seriously?
You won't meant to save yourself.
True.
How long am I meant to wait in the broom closet after I exit and re-enter it?
It's still coming. Sound.
Oh, let's take the shield. Okay.
Okay, I'm done going for the broom closet ending. I sat in there for like an hour.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I did! Then I asked, what do I do after that?
You just keep leaving and entering.
Stepping.
Okay, abracadabra, begin the game.
Oh, they have a
All of his
50% crit
co-workers had
chance.
gone. What could it mean?
One died.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Banana
Perhaps
bucket.
he had simply missed a memo.
Unfortunately for them, they won't live long enough to use it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2
Well,
open
they're
doors, he entered the door on his
Because
left.
we're cool and epic. Those were your words, I believe.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Somewhere both red and blue. What?
How did I miss like every single one of my shots there? Seriously. There we go.
Oh no, no, not again. I
I
wait
think
to
that if we
pass this.
survive
I'm not
this,
going to
we
encourage you.
got
I'm
good.
not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please
You
take
go
your
and write you one.
time.
There's 2 items on spawn.
Fair enough. Oh.
Well, I love my movement options.
Well, yeah, you better be enjoying them. All of that. Comeback is good. Do you mind if I?
Yeah, take it.
Nice. One can never be too tanky as Heretic.
I really hope that we get the explosive. Oh, your attempts to explode item.
Just in general? Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope to get it in general, but just in here. So, let's see it this way. You know how my R is like a volley of slashes?
Yeah.
Every single one of them would explode.
I mean, I already do cause things to blow up. Like, what's the item called?
No, it literally just looks like a rocket launcher. You can't miss it.
I'll try not to miss it then.
I'm gonna go into the broom closet for a third time.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
Oh,
had
good
simply
job.
missed a memo.
Don't mind if I do.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What's that? Oh, well, look quite right. Yeah, I could do
They
it.
boarded up the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had
I
missed.
have 2 of my spin slashes now, so I can actually gain